This is a video for Shafe, video response for your anti-fragility diversification. A long time ago, I had a meeting with a financial advisor, and that person said, or asked, what is your most valuable asset? And kind of went down the list. Well, silver, gold. I'm pretty good at figuring things out. And he said, well, the way I see it, your most valuable asset is your ability to make wealth. That's something that's stuck with me. And you asked about living near a golf course and having a swimming pool. No, you didn't mention having the swimming pool. You weren't mentioning the swimming pool. All I could think of was, what about the swimming pool? Mention the swimming pool and I'll be jealous. Probably not jealous of the maintenance, but I would say jealous of having a swimming pool. I'd like to have a swimming pool. I like the water. What you said about being a doomsday prepper, I too was a doomsday prepper. And I found myself, this was kind of during the Great Recession, I found myself in the position of actually eating some of that freeze-dried shit it was actually, in a way, a store of wealth. It was like a food bank. And at the time, I know we've talked about it in the past, I was fairly involved in evangelism and outreach, and we did food handouts, so I got food from there also, and it kind of got me through. At the time, I was a mechanic, actual wrenching, and the work was real slow. Cash for clunkers obliterated our workload because everybody was bringing their shitty, worn out cars and getting new car finances guaranteed from Uncle Sam, Uncle Scam. And when we brought those cash for clunkers cars in, we were paid an hour and a half on the books, and it was about 20 minutes work. And our job was to essentially destroy the vehicles internally, like their engine. We put a silicon agent in the engines and ran the engines until they seized. Reason for that was to make sure that the vehicles that were being traded in weren't going to salvage. They were going to destruction and raw material recycling. That doesn't have much to do with the subject, but what it does have to do with is there's a scale of calamity, I think, and there are pockets of calamity. And I believe that the reason, agreeing with you, that diversity is very important in your investment or your storage of value, because I think an error that many doomsday people make, an error that many smart but misguided people make, is not taking into account the actual size of the economy that we're dealing with. And what's influenced this is all our lives born into a world of fantasy and fiction with Mad Max and these scenarios and these apocalyptic scenarios. And it's easy to logically prove a path to destruction if there's no aversion from it, you know? But I think people subscribe to it and they put it in a box and they sign on the ideology of it, and all is well. With regard to your job, yeah, I don't know, man. What you were saying, and I'm sorry I haven't called too, by the way, but the time difference makes me like have to do math, and I don't know what you're doing. I don't want to interrupt you. And then I'm nervous that I'm not as good talking the way that I am here when I can kind of put my thoughts together and go back and forth. But nothing tells me we wouldn't hit it off good other than just hitting it off too good, I think. That worries me too. I wouldn't want to be golly, I call up Corey and freaking that's 2 hours right there, you know what I'm saying? But I thought of when in my trading days, when you would wait for the market to turn, but the market already seemed to be priced in. I think a lot of that, I think the people that have made their moves in housing have made their move, like as far as the population. We could possibly predict the rate that people are leaving New York and Los Angeles for Arizona, but beyond that, I think that market's saturated, and I think there's going to be some things that will come to fruition. I don't know how popular it is. I don't know anything about real estate, by the way, other than one of my mentors tried to get me into it. He was really big on real estate. He says they're not making any more land. He loved land. I think he owned over 10 rental properties, as well as owning a furniture business. But I think some of this stuff, depending on how many people subscribe to it, this idea that you buy 2 houses and then you rent one out and then it covers the mortgage of both. I don't know how many people went for that, how that's going to work out for them. But I can see that as a little pocket of implosion. A lot of people that are renters probably tell you that, golly, and then the lessons from COVID where people were legally allowed to not pay their rent, and then the bank bailout on the backside. Saw them fucking goblins, I guess. All right, man. Catch you later.